Okay, here we go. Yeah. So welcome. My name is Brian Knight and I live near Melbourne in Australia, and it's just after 5:30 in the morning on a Wednesday for me. And it's my mother's 90th birthday today. So a bit of a celebration.
Happy birthday, Mummy.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Now, let me just share screen here. Welcome, Anne and David and Darren. So this is just a little disclaimer. Welcome to this live analysis session. There's a full risk disclosure and a little bit about us as live session traders there. Let's go across onto the charts. Looks like the market has sort of started to do a bit of a turn. I think Alistair has put in a couple of things in the chat. We will just share screen over here. I don't know what was happening this morning anyway. Or on my trading view was responding a little slow. I don't know why. Anyway, this is the AUD CAD. I'll just go down and have a look at a few of them. Do you have any questions there, Anne or David? You've been busy doing some other things.
Yeah, apologies in advance, but obviously you've changed stuff since I was last in. So if there's an opportunity, if you could just show me which
what's going on? Yeah, sure.
Settings, that would be very grateful for that. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, we'll have a look through those. You don't need to use all these different indicators, but some of us are using different things. I think, Darren, are you still using the trend bars?
Yeah, still using the trend bars. I haven't got as much on my screen as you've got, Brian. I've just got the trend bar and the long and the short.
Yeah.
Shorts.
Okay.
I've also got the weak lows and strong lows, strong highs, those lines on as well.
Okay, good.
Have you changed any of the settings there, or are they just the standard settings out the box?
No. Some of the settings have changed. I mean, Darren is in the chat. He asked, I think it was yesterday, the day before, about the twin range filter. So you can have these or not have these. This is the Smart Money Concepts Lux Algo. Basically, all it's doing is a strong high, weak low, or whatever, and a bit of a premium discount and equilibrium. So they're just really, it's really just sort of giving, a range as such. So you can have that turned off or on. It really doesn't matter that so much. The trend bars, I'm pretty sure, are still around that 7. That hasn't really changed. If you want to use that, super trend, you can have that on or off. It doesn't really matter. It's not really giving a lot of information, and it's really, a super trend is basically 4, 100 and 1. And the style's basically the same. You're just turning some of these things off. But the inputs are there. And this will be basically on the recording as well. So you can have that or not. Now, this twin range filter is probably the one that's which really gives you this long and short sort of trend as such. So if you go to the settings on that, it's HLCC4 in the source, in different, because I think when it comes out of the box, it's on close. The fast period is 4, fast range 1.5, slow period 37, slow range 2. And all it's doing is giving shorts and longs, basically, in on the, I think from a style, it's just straightforward there. Okay. And all that's doing is giving short, long, and so basically, after a short, you're having a long, and after a long, you're having a short. It's just pretty simple from that perspective. The market bias is this ribbon that's in here, and also to the ribbon here on the daily. And still using,
So did you
some
decide you like that better than the whole, for instance?
correct. Well, we have talked about whole. The market bias tended to have this. It sort of just sits in the background, basically. It's not really something I tend to rely on a lot. I mean, I could have it turned off, but and really the other is this CM Ultimate MA. This is the red and green line that is in for the tuning at points. So from red to green to red, it just basically is following that line. And the settings on that are in relation to the chart. So we're the time frame, and we're on 3 hour and 2. Average is 5. Then here is number 4, which is a whole MA. There's 200 smoothing 50, but that's not necessarily changing. There's the one there, and it's changed colour based on direction of the second MA. There, currently, what the settings are, and in style, is basically just unticking those things, and everything else is basically the same. So really, I mean, you don't have to rely on this either, but it's just giving you an insight into potentially change of direction and when either a long or short may come in. You don't really, it's not something that's essential either. So I've just got these things turned on currently, but and it does look a bit messy.
Are you working on the 2 hour now then? I can see you've got the 2 hour up. So
it's 2 hour. No, 2 hour and 3 hours. So let's talk about that. What Tom had suggested, and I think it's reasonable to sort of understand from the point of view, like this is a session yesterday, we were looking for a long because we'd had a short. And if you look where that long comes in just there, it was like when just after market changed over, like from New York into sort of Sydney Asian. If you go from here now and we go down to a 2 hour to set, maybe, to set an alert for either long, short or something else, you can see that long came in earlier. Can you see that there? Instead of at market changeover.
Okay.
It actually,
yeah.
And the shorts basically came in earlier. So from a short to a long to a
Mm.
short there. So if you want to do a short or long alert, then on the 2 hour, which will give you the heads up for what's happening, going to potentially happen on a 3 hour.
But you're still looking to get in on the 3 hour then. So you're looking for the 2 hour just to give you an early warning signal.
Correct. Yeah. Now, just using this one example here, the AUD CAD, we had looked at this longer term sell. So looking at an order, I have an order in place for a sell here. So what we were looking at is in yesterday's session, which was around about this point here, this candle. Yeah, that's where we would have been. So we were looking at the potential of if it broke this low here, it would potentially go further down and break this low, right? As in, because of the sell, we're looking at a short. And on the 2 hour, we had a long here before the session. So if it went long, we could then also bring the order back up. So what we can do now is we're still looking at this to sell because we've got a long, which will be followed by a short. Yeah. Whether it will break this low down here or not, it will need to break, well, it did already. It broke that and is at an equilibrium. So if I bring this back out, it says up there a strong high and it has a weak low down here. And what it's doing is just going sideways at the moment. Yeah. So I could either move the order up and move stop loss up so that when it does turn, it will actually activate into that trade. And as it continues, if it continues down, it will actually be profit. But basically, if it does come back up, it's a relatively tight stop loss because if it continues up. Now, yesterday, having the order in place here, if it never comes down here, I will never be in this trade. So there's not a risk. Welcome, Alistair, too. How you replace? I hadn't asked you because I haven't seen you. You've replaced both all of those flexible hoses on those taps.
Oh yeah.
Oh, good. And you were back on deck again with water.
Yeah, my plumber flooded the kitchen again because he didn't turn off the main when he took the cold off. But apart from that, it wasn't too bad.
Oh no!
I should have done it myself.
Oh well, yes.
Anyway.
Okay. But there were no stopcocks put in at the time when he did it.
No.
Okay.
Anyway.
Well,
I didn't get on last night because my mother got rushed into hospital, but she's fine. She had a little bit of an upset. She's getting out tomorrow, so she just phoned me just now. So anyway, that was all fun and games. But she's all right.
Fine. Well, it's good news that she's okay.
Yeah, fine. Yeah, all good.
Right. So Anne, this is really setting up orders. So if it continues down, then I will be activated into the trade with a stop loss at the moment here. Now, this is, you could have it as a larger, you could say, right, okay, until it comes down to here, or you could say until it comes down to here, you would get in the trade. But it's really just setting up potential orders for, I like to do sell stops and buy stops only because they can activate when I'm not at the market, when I'm not at the charts. Yeah, or able to trade.
Uh-huh. So what are you doing? Are you taking from the daily then, the direction, or are you, because you're not just getting into every short and every long, are you?
No. So I tend to just take trades in direction of the higher time frame.
Yeah, so you're going off the daily and just going from that. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So, and looking at just sort of more longer term type trade. So being in a trade, if it continues in that direction, then well and good. But if it stops me out and it's in profit, so the idea as well is once you're in a trade and it pushes further in that direction, it's to bring your stop loss to break even at least, or break even plus, and keep sort of trailing it from that point of view. If it comes back, then you can profit. I think it was, Darren, correct me or not, I think it was a lot of the JPY pairs last week or week before. I think that there was a big spike on, we can have a look actually on.
There was, yeah.
The
CAD JPY profit.
CAD. Yeah. Yeah, there was this, we were in, I'd been in a buy, say for CAD from here, and it basically came down. I'd moved, that was my entry. My stop losses was already up here. So as it spiked, did this big spike down, I had profited out. I mean, not as much as where it had pushed to, but it was in safe territory. And so profit, and now it's sort of basically pulled back up again. Does that make sense?
Yeah, total sense. Yeah. Otherwise, otherwise you're weeping, aren't you? You get that and you haven't moved your stop loss.
Correct. I mean, it could have been down here and it would have been then in loss. So the aim it is, as it moves in the direction of the higher time frame, then you can move your stop loss up whatever point. Now, I could have moved this up a lot higher, and maybe in retrospect, these are things that you would, because it was still pushing down. But like that's after the event of observations.
Easy to be clever after the event, so yeah.
It always is. So anyway, so ACAD, I'm not moving this at the moment because I'm looking at this. If it does break the high up here, I'm still not in that trade. At some point though, because there is a long from there, and it hasn't tried to break these highs here. If it does come up and break that, well, it's going to be a different story. But the point is, it still looks like it's wanting to come, eventually to come back down and break this low here. So if you think of it like a set of stairs, as it pushes up, you have another step, pushes up, you have another step, pushes up, you have another step. What you're doing is you're following up those steps or below the steps, because if it's going to come down into the sell, it's going to have to break down below that the recent step, if that makes any sense. And when it does, it'll do a pullback and then potentially continue down, unless you have news which spikes it and then it pulls back up, and that's just a lost trade. Yeah, so that's sort of the understanding at this point. So that here, I could quite easily move it if I wanted to, but I'm still going to see whether this breaks up past the top here. before it comes back down, before I'll even consider moving entry, then maybe up to here, stop loss, then further up. Yeah. So I think it's sort of, once or twice a day, you just really need to have a look at it and see where price is. It depends on what news event occurs. Okay. So, and for me, this is my color coding. If it's got a blue there, it means that there's an order in place and it hasn't kicked in yet. If it's purple, it's just an observation, maybe a closer one. Orange is just, maybe a closer look at what's happening. And if it's a red, it's in a trade for a sell, and if it's green, it's in for a buy.
Hi, Brian. Have you looked at this on the weekly at all in the last chat tonight? Because it's just sort of
stuck on the weekly.
Stuck on a bit of on a floor. If you're on a step, it's on the pavement almost.
Yeah, I know. From here though,
if you
see a couple.
If you show your candles a bit chunkier,
like this.
Well, a lot chunkier.
Oh,
yeah,
a lot chunkier.
Just see how it's gone, then gone flat.
Yeah, but that's okay.
I'm not too. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I'm not too concerned. I'm still looking that it's selling, buy, sell.
Yeah.
No, correct. And there's not a lot of either way, buy or sell. So that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for this to sell back into its sell cycle. It could push up a little further before it does. It would be interesting if it was to break, a high up here or there. I just find that a little bit harder to predict that it would do. And if we go to the daily, you're right. See how it's sort of up down, but it's still in that push up at the moment. But if you look at it on the daily overall, it's still going down. There's just these points here. See how it's pushed down past this previous low? But if you look over here, there is still there's still some in here that it could, if it wanted to, particularly could go further, right? Now, I'm not saying it will. All I'm saying is the Aussie dollar isn't that strong. It does do pull-ups, just like currencies against the Swiss franc or the Japanese yen from time to time, right? But then eventually it sells out. So that's the daily at the moment. So I'm still looking at this to potentially sell out. So that's why I don't want to take buys, even though it's in that buy direction. We'll see what happens with it. AUD/CHF. So the Aussie dollar was quite strong against the Swiss franc, which is weird from a keep selling position. What I've got in place here, there's an alert if it breaks up top. But again, it's pushing up at the moment. I have a sell order in place with a stop loss here and just an alert up there. Yeah. So it didn't kick in. It's just been going sideways. If you look at it here, it's in a box for like last week it was, I think, basically up and down and within. It poked out at the end of the week, or start of the week, actually. This, for me, when the market opened, it's pulled back up. So it's gone from that short to push down. This long now, this is on the 3 hour, long to push up. So at some point, we're going to get a short to come back down. Right now, whether it will break this low, that's where my order is in place down there. So in the last 24 hours, it did push down, but nowhere near to break that. So it looks like it may break the high back up here. And so I'm not in that trade at this point until it does actually start. And I can then potentially move up to here below that, because if it's going to go into a sell, it's going to have to break this low. Yeah, and I would put my stop loss in probably up here. Yeah.
It's
So
now
that's-
sitting on, I know you're not talking about your EMAs much just now, but it's sitting on the 800, or it has been bouncing along the 800, which is quite good.
Well, it'll come away from it then if it's sitting on it.
Yeah,
So,
that's right. Yeah, that's right.
but it has been going a little sideways on it. So AJ, again, look, I haven't liked this pair. I mean, it has, particularly here, I mean, this is from the session yesterday. It had a short. I'm looking for a long, and I'm pretty sure I've got an alert, a long and a short on this one. Yeah, have a look. AJ, I've got a short, and AJ, I have a long as well, right? So it gives me alert either way. And I think that this one's on a 3 hour and the short is on a 2 hour. Because I used to set them on 3 hour, and then Thomas had said set them so you get a little bit earlier alert before the 3 hour actually kicks, so you can come and have a look, and then when the 3 hour does, you're actually there at the party. So this, I'm looking potentially for this to kick in on. I don't have an order in place with it. I'm just watching it. This one, yeah. I just don't like, like it's pretty sideways. Anyway, questions. How's that? Just describing those couple there for you, Anne and David. No? Okay.
Any thoughts, David?
No, I've just been kind of listening. I've not no kind of questions or anything.
Okay, no worries. That's okay. Now we'll just go down and look at some of the pairs then. So AUD NZD, I don't tend to trade it because it's just craziness. Other people may. That's fair enough. AUD Singapore, just observing. It is in the sell trend. If I wanted to, I would put in an order for this. That's sort of, but I haven't at this point. I've got these ones playing. AUD USD, it's still pushing up. I've got an alert there for a potential sell for it to come back down again. I don't have an extra, I haven't put one in yet. I'm still, where am I? I'm still in AUD. It's still like, 400 pips roughly up on a trade on this. So it has been pulling back up. I've been waiting for a sell out for this as well. It's got a weak low here, strong high up the top, and it's also weak on the daily. So when both of those are sort of, not that it matters greatly, but when both of them have, say, for example, a weak low, it just gives me a little bit more solace that, or comfort that it potentially is going to sell. Yeah, so we have long with a short, with a long, and the last one on the 3 hour has been a long. So at some point we're going to get a short. Now, whether it pulls back down to break this low, but that's really the main sort of thought of what would happen. Yeah. So there's that. CAD CHF. Look at this one. This has got also too, I've got an order in place here. So it will need to out of this box because at the moment it's just going sideways. If you look at it, basically in that box. And at some point it's going to need to break. It has come, you know, it basically, where is it? If you look at it, even on here, it did push down. It's been pushing down for a long time, or for a considerable amount of time here on the daily. It pushed up to a point. If you put a fib on it from high to low, it basically came back to 100% and then dropped off. And now what it's doing is just sitting here. I think there's more imbalance further down. So I have potentially, well, what I do have is an order in place for this to drop. If it continues up, I won't be in this trade. So it doesn't really matter. Yeah. But if it does drop down into here and then go back up, well, you know, that's where it's at. So there's here and with a stop loss just sitting above those. Yeah, just waiting. So CAD-J. Again, this is in a buy. I don't know whether, well, it is pulling back here. So there was a sell option here. I think that there will be some sort of a pushback up. I think it'll break this high up here. So let's put in, it will need to break this high. There's a green. So potentially for a buy, and the stop loss would be probably around where I currently have that sitting. So I'm going to get rid of this. Well, it's not get rid of it actually. Because we've got a long, I'd need to observe this and see, because we're going to get a short at some period like this here. See where it's shorted out? Then it's gone long. So there's going to have to be a short at some time. How far this will push, don't know. But it looks like, and we're sort of getting to a bit of a, how do I put it? It's in a bit of a dangerous sort of position at the moment because it has pushed up on the daily, come back down, pushed up, broken that high there just and pull back. Is this now a swing high for it to continue down? Or is it going to push back up and break that high? So we're in a bit of a like, well, which way is it going to go? Yeah. Thoughts, anyone?
Well, that's
No?
put my chart up. I think it's going to go up.
Yeah,
That was my.
I think it will
There's
too.
imbalances and there's a really good POI above and blah blah blah. And the EMAs are nicely poised. Yeah, it's going to go up.
On the sorry, I can't remember what it's called. The green line, the one that's instead of the hull that you're using.
Yeah. The ultimate.
Is the dark green? Yeah, is the dark green representative of something different? You know, what's that signify as opposed to the lighter green?
Oh no. That's actually no. That one is actually part of the market bias. Ultimate is this smaller line here. So what?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you're.
You were using that market bias instead of the whole.
Yes, correct. And
Yeah,
yeah.
essentially all
So
I'm asking
what-
is the difference between the two greens. Is there something, why has it got two greens?
Yeah, because what if you look at it here at this point, it was still going up. As it came back down, it is still in a bias.
But it's, right, gotcha.
But it's actually come down and met it, so it's in a darker color before it will actually turn red if it does, but it's not doing it. At this point, it's not anyway. It will need to come down significantly and stay below that for a longer period of time before it will change to a sell. I'll give you an example of it. Where is it? Here.
How many 3-hour candles would you have underneath it for it to change? Is it?
Don't know. Yeah.
Right.
But if you look at it here, here is an example. See how it's green, but then you've got this darker green, the lighter green, because it pushed further up. Right. And when it's up to there and going sideways, well, it changed color. And it didn't change to red until it was, well and truly below. And then it pushed up and it was like a darker red until it went green, then lighter. Do you know what I mean? It's just
Yeah. You couldn't use it. Essentially, you couldn't be guided by that as to
no.
until a color change or something. It's like
no. It is purely something in the background as far as an overall picture. So if, for example, you were looking at this pair through this period, say, for example, here, then, and you were to see it do this sort of thing where it goes, darker light, you would just keep out of that pair. Purely because it's not, if you're taking any of this ribbon into consideration, because it's telling you that it's just choppy until, you see this sort of stuff. If you want, see how it goes sideways and then up it went. And the super trend pushed up too. So it just gives you a little bit of solace. So what's happening now is, and this is why I sort of posed the question, is CAD-J in a buy direction still, or has it created a swing high that is going to pull up a bit and then drop out and break the low here, right? Now,
I've got red on the end of my bias. Don't know.
A red just here?
Yeah, at the end of it, yeah. No, not a sliver. It's a bit of a...
Okay. Well, this is the setting was like 200, 100 smoothing and 7. What's yours, Alistair?
100. 107. So I took that to 200.
Well, it's just smooths it out a bit.
I can't remember why I've got it.
And again, I would not rely on it. It's something in the background that just gives you some extra information to understand what's happening. So at this point, this is what I'm sort of saying here. Not that this matters greatly, but it does have a weak high on the daily and a strong low, and it does have a weak high on the 3 hour and a strong low, right?
Yeah.
And when it came down, it
sort of having, almost missed the bus. I know it's a longer time frame, but I'd be sort of going, you know what, I'll not get into that. I wouldn't get into a sell, but neither would I get in a buy. I'd just sit and wait and go, right, well, I'll leave it to make its mind up,
Yeah, but let's put it this way though, Anne. If, for example, we'll just go in here. See how it is in a long, it hasn't created a short, it pulled back down, but it's nowhere near coming back down to this long at this point, and it's pushed back Excuse me. And it pushed back up. Now this pull back down here, there is space here that if it is going to break the high over here, or even take up some of that imbalance, there is a considerable number of pips there to be had. For example, if it does push back up, activates, and does come up here, there's probably, I don't know, 160, 170 pips at least. Now, if in fact this is what it does do, and it comes up here, activates, and then comes back down and hits your stop loss, tough luck, right? You're not going to win every trade in this strategy as such.
When do the long and the short signals appear? You know, how far along the route does that before that long signal appears?
Hang on, this is on a 3 hour, so you need to see how it's after it's hit this. So, well, there was no long after this crazy one candle. It continued down to basically equals, and the long didn't occur until it started to really push up. It had broken structure even.
Yeah. No, sorry. What was meaning was I didn't explain myself very carefully there. Where does that? So that long signal would appear on that candle there. It doesn't have to wait for 2 and 3 more candles for the long to appear.
No. Correct.
And how trustworthy do you think these long signals are once they do appear? Will they repaint?
I know once the candle's completed, they normally stay there.
Yeah. So if you wanted to be safe, then you could wait until the candle completed after the long signal, and then get in.
Correct. Yes.
You see, it's Mrs. Health and Safety here. I'm like, we'll do that then.
Yep. Yeah, but the issue is you could quite easily have a short after that, and it'll bring it back down. Like it's it's not that you can't trade from a long or short, as in. Okay, so let me put it this way: you have a short, then a long, then a short, and a long, and a short, which then comes all the way here until you get a long. These are actually quite close together, yet it's still in a buy direction. When it comes to this short and it pulls back down here and back up, that's when you would, because it breaks structure, that's when you would get in for the sell on it, right? When it starts to come back up, you would be out of that trade for sell. That's if you wanted to, and into a buy.
Yeah. No, I understand that. Yeah.
But you can't, I don't think you can trade from just a short or a long
no, I was thinking you would maybe use the daily to know which direction you were going in, and then take the signals that suited the direction.
Correct. Yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
There is a little bit of a let me put it this way. This long here, you could have got into a trade particularly, right? But because of where we're seeing it currently, you could be correct in what you're saying is that I'm going to wait until it gets a short, for example, and then you're going to get in on the buy, on the long or the buy signal. Does that make sense? So it's actually waiting for.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. You wait for the pullback, and then it's made its mind up, and yeah.
But it also may not give you a short. It may just pull back, not break structure, and continue up. Well, look at the short here. It did a pullback, but it never gave you a long. It dropped. It never gave you a long. It dropped. It never gave you a long. It dropped, and then it gave a long.
Yeah.
So in this situation here, this is pull back but not giving you a short. This is pull back but not giving you a short at the moment, right? If I change it though to 2 hour, it is still not giving us a short, and it looks like it's pushing back up.
Now you see that one, I would say, oh, okay, then, right. Yeah, I'm happier. I'd be happier with that. Going, yeah, okay.
Well, that
looks as if it's going up. Yeah.
good. So there's
It's funny, and it's just different, different people. Yeah.
Correct. So that's why I'm saying here, for this to continue in this buy direction, it will need to break that high, right? So I will, actually, I'll do it over here. So this is CAD-J. I know I've been in plenty of CAD-Js before. There we go. I'm actually just over in my trading platform, right? I'll just show you. I can't show you necessarily. So what I've got is a buy stop, and it's 109.712. Let's see. And then I'll have a stop loss that I'll put in place. Where do you reckon?
Yeah, so the green dotted line.
Yeah, that green dotted line up there, absolutely. Yeah. And we'll talk about where we'll put a stop loss, because if it does, hang on, I'm going to open this up a little bit. So I'm just putting some tighter stop losses. So if you look at it, see where it's pushed down there and then come back up, but then done that little pullback. Mm-hmm. If it breaks down past here, like if it comes up, and if it does break down, and I can, as this moves up, I would move the stop loss up to break even anyway. But that's basically where I want to put stop loss at the moment. So if this just comes up here and then pokes back down there, my stop loss is 60 pips, right? So 109.111, which is, 60 pips, basically. Mm-hmm. Yeah, good. So there is an order in place. So now what I'm going to do is, with this, I'm going to change that to blue so I know I've got an order. I can even make a note if I wanted to. Right. So we're at a text note. So have a buy right, it just gives me a date and a time that I've done that, and just I can go back and here says, so in one trade it has stop loss in profit, right? That's what a note from before, and it came back and profited out. I didn't make a note of it, but it gives me a history of what I've done for this, right? And now I've got another buy stop in place. So it just gives you an idea of how I go about it. If, for example, this just continues down here, I won't be in the trade. So it won't matter. It has to break that high for it to get in the trade and continue. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go. Simple as that. So CHF JPY, again, it's in the box. It's pushed back up. We've got a long. At some point, we'll get a short for it to come back now. It does say strong high up here and a weak low down here. So I think, and what it looks like is this has been in a long-term buy. It has weakened off. I just, I'm getting to the sort of thoughts with this. Whoop, where we go? Come on. That potentially this will push back up and break this high over these highs over here. The Swiss franc was for a number of weeks not that good, but if you look at it over here, it just was so strong against the Japanese yen, and then it's weakened off. Now I think it's showing signs that it's broken that structure there, and it's pushing back up. Yeah, so I'm just going to observe at the minute, but that would be for a buy at some point, even though see it still says a week low, and then on the daily it says week high. They're not incongruent sort of states at the moment. All right. Euro AUD. Yeah. I'm in a trade for this and I am in profit at the moment. I think it will sell further. You can see where it's in a buy for ages and now it's really pulling back down again. It's a little bit, sort of sideways on it, just purely because the Aussie dollar and the euro are pretty well matched up. Yeah, but I am in a sell. So then you put a couple of these up, didn't you, Alistair? Euro CAD, wasn't it?
What did we do?
I think in our chat you had
CHF.
CHF, was it? Oh, sorry. Okay.
CAD's
Right. Euro
CAD's been
CHF,
sitting-
that's right.
CAD's just been sitting, bouncing on quite a big bounce in between, some order blocks and stuff. Yeah, just been
Yeah.
along.
Yeah. Well, the US dollar has been strong, but I don't know. It looks like it's done a bit of a turn. Or, as they've just had a bank holiday, so that also too may have sort of reduced the amount of volume in some of we'll look at the other ones anyway. So Euro CAD, I'm not in that trade. I'd be looking for a sell for this. That's what I'm looking up here. You've got a long. We had a short there, but that long did not break down here. So I'm still just going to observe at the moment. Euro CHF, this is the one you were talking about. There was a considerable gap on market open, right? Yeah. And what it did was it dropped back down. I said it would probably I think it'll come back up at some point, but if you can see, where is it? Just there. No, there.
Yeah,
So
filled it perfectly.
Well, no, it didn't come back up to here.
No,
I still
not
think
today,
this. No, but the wick up here coming and sort of matched out what the market was over on at the close of the market. I still think that we have, I don't know when it'll do it, but at some point I think this will push further up to here before it actually sells out. I don't have an order in place, but that's what I'd be looking at, is for a sell after it comes back up to here. Maybe. We'll just see how it goes. Euro GBP. Right. I have, where am I with that one? That
Do
is,
you want a number for that last one? I reckon it's going to go 96677. CHF.
oh, sorry, CHF.
9.96677.
Come on.
That's what I've got on my folder.
Up here. Oh, 967. Up here.
Nine six six 96697 up round there. Anyway, just a thought.
Yeah, okay. Do you want me to put it in
Although,
as a
no, I don't
Alistair
put it in.
prediction?
No,
Or? Okay, right, right,
It's-
okay.
It kills it when you put them on. It kills it dead. I'll remember it.
Good. You can do a I told you so later. Okay. Yeah. So this could quite easily break this low down here. But I think it is a long in place. We haven't got a short yet on the 3 hour. I think it will potentially push back up, and then I'd be looking at a sell on that. So Euro GBP, oh gosh, I'm in a buy for this, and I got in a buy. Oh, I don't know where. Where is it? Is it there? Hey, somewhere around there. So I am. Oh yeah, I'm down. Yeah, I'm down about 30 pips or so on this one because of the push down, right? But at the moment, it's still in that short. There is no long yet. It's come down and matched out these. It's tried a couple of times to push down. What I'm looking at is, oh yeah, and there must be a stop loss on here. Where is it? 8623. Yeah, that's my stop loss down here. So if it does actually push further down, I will be stopped out, but only probably about, I don't know, 40 pips. Not a big deal. All right. Again, you're not going to win every trade, but certainly it pushed up there and then came back. Yeah. And where was it? Was that back 20th of September? It was. Yeah. So I actually took the trade over here. It was in positive, and then it went in drawdown, and then positive, and then now in drawdown. I'm looking at it to push further back up. If Thomas was here, he'd probably say, nah, it's going to sell. That's okay. I'm not too fast. You're at JPY. And I don't want to put words in Thomas's mouth either. This is just going sideways. Don't really want to know about it. You're at NZD. I'm in that for a sell. And the Euro NZD, I'm up 450 pips on this one from an order there. My stop loss is in profit territory. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move this down to here. Euro NZD, modify that and put my stop loss at 177,365. So it's still, that's 260. Okay, yeah. But it is from current price back up. Oh yeah, gosh, it's nearly 200 pips. Right. I mean, it depends. If this comes and breaks this low here, I'll move my stop loss down to above that high. Yeah. So just keep following it and trailing it basically within that sort of area. I know it's not
stacking these trades anymore, Brian, or
I'm not, sorry, say that.
You're not stacking these sorts of trades anymore, or
yeah, I am, but I'm not sort of in.
Yeah,
but I'm not in this as a second one as
No.
yet. It would have been nice to get into it at this short here, but I didn't put one in place, Euro Singapore, just observing. I'm waiting for a sellout, right? I'm waiting for a short on this. There is an order. Have I got an order in place? Hang on. Let's see. No, I don't. I really should have an order for this. It depends on how far this goes. I'm going to pull this up. But if this has got a short, and it's good, this is actually, because I've got it as a orange, just like notice it, right? and I probably have an alert on it. Euro USD, same. It's come up and just matched that high. This is where I'm looking at potentially for it to come back down, break that, and then keep going down. So these are two really good possibilities for trades. Let's quickly go through the GBPs. GBP AUD. God, I'm still down on this one. See, I was in a sell down here. I was in profit, and then it's come up here. I'm looking for this to drop out, right, and sell. But anyway, GBP CAD.
We can
Again,
agree on
it's
that
done it.
one, Brian.
Agree
I've been
that there'll be a
waiting for
sell.
days for this damn thing to come down, GA.
Yeah, well, you know, hey, I think it'll break this low, even though it says strong low down there. I don't know. I think it's just got too much imbalance on the daily, and I think it's still
the way
gonna
off,
come
though,
down.
isn't it?
Just
You know, well, for my purposes at the moment, I'd say it's got plenty to drop. You know, but you're obviously, you know, it's not far off there.
yeah, we'll see. GBP CAD. Again, it has done a long into a short, and then it has a long. So I'm just sort of sitting with this one at the moment. I still think this will sell as well, but, you know, it's got to do a pullback up. If we get a short that's below this one, then I'll look at putting in an order for that. GBP CHF, don't really want to trade it. It's crazy sideways, forget it. GBP JPY, also sideways, don't really want to know. GBP NZD, I am in this for a sell, right? I got in somewhere here. My stop loss is up there. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to move this stop loss to above here now. I know it's not in positive territory, but like if it's going to come back up here, what I'm looking for is for it to break this low. So where is my GN? I'm up 100 pips at the moment. And I'll just modify that. I'll just modify the stop loss. What is it? 206. 022. Somewhere there. Just sort of making changes on them. So Singapore, again, it's pull back up against the Singapore. I think we'll get a short, but it basically is broken that. Now, this could be a swing low for it to push a lot further up, but it just means the British pound will strengthen. Now, that's Singapore. Now, this is where GU, you can see I'm in 3 trades with this. I've got stacked 3 trades, and they're all in positive, right? It has broken this high here. So there is a breaker structure at the moment, right? It is a long. We had a short, we had a long, and the long has broken that short, right? So is it time to get out of this? Has it now created its swing low and it's now going up? I'm going to wait for a short, see where it comes back to.
Well, I've just profited out on that one. It just took me out. That
I think my stop loss is up here on all of them. Yeah, it is. My stop loss is up there. So if this does push up to there, it will actually profit out of 3 trades. All right. Yeah. But then again, we'll see.
Yeah.
If it pulls back a bit, I may just get a little bit more that I've given away. Yours was above this one, was it?
It was, yeah.
Your stop losses were above. Yeah. Okay, good. So that's the GU. I've been watching this one closely because I've been given back profit on that. It's like NZDs. All right, still strong. At some point, we're going to get a sell out. I had potentially an order there. it now needs to come back up here or even there, right? We'll see when it does sell out, because it's on the higher time frame. It's been selling. There's quite a bit of space in here, and so they do spikes up, but then they also turn and drop down as well. So that drop, just waiting for it. You just got to trail it, ready for the long. So we've had a short and another long. There've been distance between them. Now they're actually pretty close together. All right. You enter DCHF, that has pushed back up. All right. Again, I'm just sort of watching this one, because when it does drop, we'll get another good push down. NZD-JPY, I don't know. I'm just not been in this one. It would have been good to have a buy up off it, but yeah, I think it'll break that high up there and use the other one like crazy. New Zealand dollar strength has been just crazy on it. On the daily, I'm still not really convinced. I think we're going to sell. I'd had an order down there. It just had never activated. Singapore, Japanese, 2 sideways for me at the moment, but I think I've had buys in it before. I had a buy there and I had a slight profit in where the stop loss was. It came down and punched through, profited out, small amount, and then it's gone back up. UCAD, I was in a sell for this. I'm not now. So I'm just on observation for this. It actually stopped me out here. I went into a trade there. It pulled up back down into profit, and then same sort of thing. So there is a short, there is no long yet. So I'm not willing to do anything with this until I can see what sort of direction. And if you look at the daily, it's just chops up and down. This trade here, I was on a presumption that it would have maybe come back down, but it's pushed back up past and now coming back. Just unlucky, that one. USD CHF. US dollar has weakened off over the last week. Yeah. And the Swiss franc has strengthened, which is quite typical. I think this will continue down. You know? So we'll just see that short. If we get along, I'd be looking at then putting an order in for a short on it. UJ, 2 sideways for me at the moment. And USD Singapore, again, just too much craziness. Now, gold has picked up in price. It's back up to 1859 prices. Which shows that the US dollar has weakened because gold has strengthened. Plus also too, there's a fair bit of craziness around the world at the moment. I don't know. Power and money just playing out all the time, isn't it? So this pull up, I'd be looking at for this to potentially sell, but we'll just see what happens with gold. Where's Bitcoin at the moment? Did it go crazy? Oh yeah, look at that. Pulled up a bit after that sort of news as well. Has been a bit erratic. Anyway, there it's at. Any questions to finish up?
No, not from me, Brian. That was good.
Nothing.
Thank
No,
you.
thank you very much. No, it's been very good. Very interesting.
All right.
Thank you.
No worries. Well, I should be on tomorrow morning. We'll just see how much sponge cake I'm able to have at afternoon tea today. And then we've got a big spit race that I'm doing on Saturday for the whole family big get together for the 90th. So today's just an afternoon tea with the oldies, no crazy kids.
Very nice. how did the hive relocation go?
Oh, good. Yeah, we relocated more yesterday. Yeah. So yesterday morning I went and helped. We relocated another 4. We've still got another 2 to do on that trailer, and then we've got another 6 on another trailer. I've just got to get a trailer that I'm doing fixed up. I just haven't had time to do it. So, bees going all over the place.
See, I don't know what you're doing with your trading, but I know what you're doing with your bees.
Well, they're not mine. They're a friend of mine. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know.
Why are you moving them all?
Well, we're now going into that spring season, Alistair, and so they've been sort of packed down for winter, and now we're moving them to different areas around locally that have more flowering trees.
More pollen stuff.
Yeah, a lot more nectar and pollen things, and trying to work stuff and move from here to there. So yeah. There's my friend's just waiting on test results from a hive that's actually in town here, or a couple of hives. It looks like it's got American foul brood, which is a reportable thing. We might have to go and destroy and burn the hives. So we'll just wait and see. So yeah, because it can spread to other hives in the area. This is actually down in actually town. So
what a shame.
Anyway, interesting things to see. Oh well, these are ones that people, for example, that they just haven't looked after them or attended to them properly, and they can get sort of. It's like any. It's actually my friends really. Yeah, it's like anything. They're like sheep or cattle. I mean, it's livestock. Bees are like a livestock. You need to maintain and check them and make sure they're okay. And if you don't, then things can go a bit crazy. So, all right, Dan. Until tomorrow, take it easy, everyone.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brian.
Everybody.
No worries at all. Ciao.